recording on this computer. Okay, great. So it's 4:02, we're 2 minutes late, and it's today's webinar is about the fashion footwear, about footwear, the footwear industry. We've got people coming in from all parts of the world, manufacturers, brands, buyers, suppliers. Today's webinar is going to be a little smaller than what the usual ones, but it's going to be good networking. You're all going to meet interesting people, because that's what happens at our events. People meet people. We're a trade show based in London. We've been doing shows in London for many years. Recently, since everything's physical, events have been on the pretty much shut for now. We're pretty much doing everything virtual, but hopefully in September we'll be back to doing our events in London, our physical events. Till then, we're making the most of it. We're doing virtual events, connecting people. We have a membership program. If anyone's interested, please hit me up. We're specialists in connecting you, giving you business leads and growing your business, But today's webinar is about just getting people together in the industry of footwear, see if some synergies can make, see if someone can work with people. I already saw that Remy and the other one who was here before, Soul Revival, yeah, both of y'all had a connect, and that's great. So the same way we like to connect people, so I just thought, Sabah, would you like to introduce yourself? We'll just go one by one to all the attendees. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sabah, and I'm launching my own business recently. I registered my brand in England. The name is Sabah Eshraqi, and I have PhD in food biomechanics from Brunel University of London, and I'm a designer. I have 2 master's degrees in industrial and product design. So I started my business in Iran recently, and I'm producing high heel shoes with consideration of ergonomics and food biomechanics.
Okay, that's wonderful. So what are the price points of your footwear? Who is your target market? Are you currently selling right now?
Actually, I'm working with some shops here in Iran, and the price, I'm gonna tell you in dollars, it's gonna be around $200, because I'm using the best materials, and I'm sourcing from Dubai or Canada or India, the fabrics.
So 200, is that like retail, or is that wholesale? What is
wholesale?
Okay, wholesale. And then
yes.
And then what is like the suggested retail price for your products?
I didn't catch your question, sorry.
Like what would be the suggested selling price at the store? Like if I went to a store and I saw your brand, I mean, is it double the wholesale? Is it triple the wholesale? Like what's the?
No, I'm not gonna sell for double, maybe 1.5.
Okay.
Not double, yeah. 50% of the wholesale price.
So where are you? So you're in Iran right now?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful! I'm so glad that you came to our webinar. That's great. And so anything else you want to tell us about some trends that you see or foresee? Where do you want to expand your business?
To be honest with you, I'm designing high heels like 7 centimeter or 10 centimeter, but people goes for less height, because it's not comfortable to wear very like 10 centimeter or 7 centimeter heel. I'm changing. I'm seeing that the trend is going to be changed to be more comfortable shoes, and that's why I'm working on high heels, because women like high heels and will continue wearing. I'm working on some journal papers now to design heels with different kind of material and structures that is going to be published soon, actually, that bring more comfortability. So to actually distribute more pressure when you wear high heels. But anyway, wearing high heels bring lots of foot deformities. So I'm working on hallux valgus deformity, which is a big toe deviation. If you are aware, I don't know. But that's the most common foot deformity caused by wearing high heels. I'm working on that too. I'm writing some journal papers.
Oh, that's interesting. Remy, do you keep women's? Tell us more about the brands. Do you keep only men's brands, or do you keep women's brands as well? Is there a synergy?
No, we do men, women, and kids, but we're not in the high heel business. We're more in the fashion sneakers business, more like the sportswear um, industry.
Okay, so Remy, why don't you tell us? I'm going to just now. Sabah will get back to you in a few minutes. But now we're just trying to go to Remy, ask some of the other people, tell them. I mean, find out more about what they do, and then how we can make some connections over here. So Remy, tell us more about the sneakers. What price points? Tell us more about your store. Who's your target customer? Where do you want to grow your business? And like, who are the kind of people you want to meet?
I'm trying to go. The people that I'm trying to meet today is actually like manufacturers and artisans, or um, factory factories direct, pretty much, so that I can either collaborate and create our own products, so that I can have a higher margin. The customers, the malls, like I'm in some of the most luxurious malls in the US. I have 2 locations at the moment. We've been in the business for about 18 years. Established in the U.S. In 2004, and from there we have some of the highest jet setters in the world as our customers. We also have athletes, celebrities that come on a regular base and shop with us. Um, like these are my demographics, and this is why I don't really do like heels. I'm more into footwear and like sneakers.
So what is the best selling? Give us an idea. What's the best selling product in your store right now?
I have like major brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma, Converse, Lacoste. I am trying, and I have also Italian brands like Golden Goose and On Running from Switzerland. Um, I I'm a major like retailer, pretty much. Like I deal with like major brands,
So
and
which
I'm
ones?
trying to find like the next best thing.
So which are the brands that are moving well? What are like if someone wants to know like what are the styles? Like any idea? Like give us some indication. What are like the best moving styles? Is it more simple? Are they more fancy ones, or are people just after the names because or the branded, the branded versions? The collaborations. What are people after? What do people want to buy?
It's a bit of both. People like the major brands and the collaboration with celebrities. Right now, like limited products is what people are looking for, and I would rather. This is why I want to try to find the right person to create my own product, to make it limited and available only in my stores, for my customers,
So
to create demand for it.
So if someone wants to reach you, how do they reach you? Do they email you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way could be through my email. I can post it in the chat.
Yeah, that would be posted in the chat. So anyone has got something interesting, got a good brand or a manufacturer, contact Remy. He's based. You said you're based in Miami, right?
Correct, in Miami, Florida.
Okay, great. So how's the COVID situation in America right now? What's happening? Are people coming to the stores? What's happening?
We are one of the lucky ones where Florida was not restricted as much as some other states. Our state is widely opened. We have been like booming. Like the numbers have been great. The stores, people are coming back. We had a really tough 2020, but 2021 is looking very good, and that's why I'm chasing product right now. I'm looking for products to either buy at once or future.
So when you now just so people understand, when you buy a product and you like from wholesale to retail, what is the margin that you're happy with?
I need to have a minimum of 2, like a times 2. That's the in business. I need to have a minimum of 50, like a 50% markup.
Okay, and like and for example, I mean, obviously then shipping charges. Say it's from a supplier overseas. Obviously, this is not including the shipping charges, right? You still want to make 50 a full times 2, right?
Correct. Yes, that is the minimum that I need to do. I mean, with major retailers like Adidas or Nike, the margin can go a little lower because it's in the running business. But my cost landed needs to be at least 2 for me to survive in the retail world, in my retail world. It's not for everybody. Like, I'm not saying that this is like the golden rule for everyone, but for my stores, it needs to be at least 2. And with like some other brands, I do 2.6, 3.
Because that's what I
It all
thought.
depends on the.
Because I thought it was more like 2.7, 2.8, 3, because that's what I was taught. But I mean, obviously.
So for major brands, it goes down. But for example, I have Golden Goose where I do 2.7 because it's made in Italy. It all depends also where the manufacturer is and the quality of the product. And like for me, I can only have the top quality. I'm not like, and this is why it's so hard to source product.
Absolutely. So any manufacturer listening to this or recording of this, contact Remy. His contact details are on the chat box. Just moving to some of our other audience members here. I see Kotans who joined us. How are you doing, sir? You got to unmute.
You hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. So where are you based and how are you doing, sir?
I'm based in Brussels. I'm the Secretary General of Cotons, which is the European Leather Industry Trade Association.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for being here, sir.
Pleasure.
So just want to tell our audience a little bit more about your organization and a little bit about yourself and your name, sir. Your name also, please.
Oh yes. Can I change that? Renommé. Yes, I can change my name. So Cotons. You're going to see my name. It's Gustavo Gonzalez Quijano. Here we are. That's my name. So I represent. I'm a kind of ambassador for the European leather industry. So that's the best I can explain what my job is. So I represent at European level the tanners, those leather producers, and defend their interest in front of European and international organizations. It's a job that involves economic, trade, environmental aspects, marketing aspects as well, how to communicate leather, etc. So it's a very, very big scope of my activities. What else? When we work, so we only cover leather production and not the downstream players that produce leather goods or footwear or so. But we have good contacts and good communications with these sectors, and generally cooperate in these activities. Leather is used mostly in footwear, and that is why I thought it was interesting to see what you have to discuss, and whether I could contribute with my understanding of leather.
Definitely wonderful. So, like, just my one question to you is today with all the organic leathers and all happening, do you see a shift in the industry, or what do you see? What is your trend in the future? Is leather is general going to become more artificial than real, or what is your take on that, sir?
That's a very good question. That's really an interesting question. I think it is a big risk for the entire value chain, because it's like dumping. I mean, the market is being now invaded by these type of products that are claiming to be more sustainable than leather, which is completely wrong, because if you look at these all these alternatives to leather, all these imitations of leather, they are using leather as the term leather in their marketing strategies, because the real nature of these products is actually plastics. But it's not nice to say, well, use plastics instead of leather. Nobody would buy that. But that's actually what they do. They're usurpating the name of leather for selling something that has maybe a few percentages of plants or mushrooms or whatever else they want to sell. So that is and that's the problem, because it's cheap. Huh? It's not. Sometimes it's cheap. Other time, when it is completely synthetic material, it's cheap. And in other cases, they make you pay for plastic the price that you pay for leather. So it's dumping. It's really dumping. They catch the people in the sectors. And with this very nice communication about cruelty-free, environmentally sustainable, which is all, excuse me the term, it's bullshit. It's because it's not cruelty-free, because leather is a residue of meat production. So you will have hides and skins continue to be produced even if you don't make leather. So it's absurd. So cruelty-free, forget about that. And environmentally sound, well, if leather is, of course, leather has an environmental impact that is non-negligible. Huh? So it's not trivial. But if the tanneries make their investments correctly, which is to a large extent the case, the environmental impact of leather is much less than the environmental impact of the residues of these plastic products that are put on the market. Because that's the problem of these products, is that they decompose into microplastics, and that there is no methodology, LCA methodology, for good reasons. There is no interest in making any methodology that can calculate well the amount of microplastics. Although they start to come up of the microplastic that are produced during the use life of the products and the end of life of these products. So
I saw Swed, you were nodding when Gustavo was speaking. I think Swed, you also can you share some of your thoughts on this, because I know you've got a leather brand as well.
Yeah. So I'm a brand and I'm a manufacturer, where my workshop is set up is very close to the tanneries in South India. That was one of the reasons, like, we set up there, because we would have direct access to the tanneries. And as far as my experience goes, real leather and good quality leather has been a part of our culture, has been a part of our journey as human beings. So it isn't going anywhere. There can be different kind of fake or cheap alternatives, but I think these are usually just phases that kind of eventually die down. But the real deal like gold is never going to go out of demand because something that looks like gold or some fake jewelry has come in the market. It does create a challenging situation to like kind of stand out and show your authenticity, but that is something that we do. Like you can just look at a pure leather, well-made, handmade shoe and tell the difference between a cheaper product which you can probably get for like 10, 15, $20 on Amazon versus something which is like slightly more expensive but is 10 times more durable, 10 times more comfortable, and it's 10 times more agreeable to you as a person.
So I just noticed Secretariat, you just joined us. How are you doing?
Sorry. Hello. So I am described that way, Secretariat. So because it's a kind of random name, sorry, I will change that. I am connecting from Poland, from Krakow. Hello, Gustavo. We know each other because we met 2 years ago in Warsaw during we organized a small summit in Warsaw. So Gustavo joined us. I want to say I do share Gustavo's opinion on leather shoes and on leather as a material, as a stuff. And I represent a Polish Chamber of Footwear and Leather Industry. So I'm here more like an observer because I was also expecting to get some information or maybe to get to see how you organize online trade shows. So this was basically the idea presented, that it would be something related to that. But now it's I see it's kind of meeting. It's more like a webinar. So do you have something more for us to just to show us how online trend might be? Yeah.
So absolutely. So these webinars that we do are these are like a weekly thing that we do. We usually do it on a Thursday. Today something happened. We had some stuff that happened yesterday, so we had to move it. So today's webinar has a lot less people. Usually we have many more, but regardless, it's recorded and it goes out to So our basic at Fashionablyin, our basic goal is to connect people. We do actual trade shows in London, and we've been doing it for many years. It's just that right now everything's virtual, so we have to make the most of the virtual. We started our virtual program about 5 years ago, actually. Okay. So when I mean virtual, it's more like we have a membership that we sell, and then we set up the meetings for our clients. Okay. So like, so we set up a webinar on a B2B. Like today, I'm just saying, but today's webinar is very interesting because we've got so many different views, and I just want to get to soul revival right now. Are you still with us, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so would you like to put your video on?
Do I have to?
I know, and I'm just saying it's just nicer, when we're talking to someone, especially when we're recording and a lot of people, and because I just think there's so many. Great, that's great. Thank you. So I mean you've just said so many interesting things when we just started. I wanted to get back to you. Just tell us more, because see, you guys are in America right now, and that's the biggest market. Like I'm telling you, I've been in the event business, and I speak to every single supplier, and they say one thing to me: get me in America. I mean, let's get me American buyers. So you guys are in the place which is the hottest right now. Tell us more about just the business in general. What are the trends? Because we have very interesting Chamber of Commerce people over here as well. It's a great global, so we can get a global perspective. So thank you.
Yeah, sure. So company's been around for 8 years. We're based in Chicago. Basically, we have different revenue streams. So we use name brand shoes to create designs, logos, images onto those shoes. So that's one. It's a B2C, B2 consumer type of revenue stream. The second revenue stream is B2B, where we work with tons of corporations, Salesforce, Google, Home Depot, just to name a few that you guys might recognize throughout the world. And we do, we're doing virtually, but we usually go all over the world doing activation in terms of we have a manufacturing plant in Michigan where we can create logos and in real time put them onto any type of footwear, leathers, as you would, wools. We work a lot with, again, name brand shoes like Converse. What's popular in the US is for some corporations is Allbirds. We do a ton with Jordans, Nike products. We did an 8-city tour with Adidas. And then also, that's all on-site stuff. We've been in Miami. We've done Super Bowl with Anheuser-Busch. We've done All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend here in Chicago with Absolute and Jameson. So we're pretty much, and then with Remy's point is that about 3 years ago, I cultivated a relationship and was down in China for about, I don't know, close to 2 months. And we have a manufacturing plant, and we can take any type of shoe and any design and do thousands to 1 million pairs of shoes in a very fast, a lot of time, and ship them to the United States, and also sell them at a very, very inexpensive price, where then, Remy and other people on this call can mark them up. And I know other people on this call do that, but yeah, I have those relationships as well, and also have relationships with a lot of other shoe companies throughout the US. So I know it's kind of a lot of information to take in, but we are very vested in the footwear business. We also do slides as well.
Do you feel like customization of shoes is becoming a more and more thing right now? People are going custom.
So the business started basically. We're huge sneaker. We call them sneakerheads. Where I've collected personally. I have probably over 150 pairs of Michael Jordan shoes, just because I live in Chicago. I'm from Chicago, but the sneaker movement has really, back in the day, let's just say about 20 years ago, it was hard to find Jordans, and waiting in line, and then it just became harder and harder. Now going online and with these bots and trying to get shoes. But then I've noticed is that, Nike, Adidas, and all these name brand, people love name brand in the US, but they're like, okay, well, what happens if I want a Nike and all they're selling is black, but I want it red, or I want my name on it, or like right now it's wedding season in the US, so we're doing a lot of wedding shoes. So like I want to put the date of my wedding on there, my wife's name on there, or whatever image, graphic, photo. We've done so many different portraits of people's faces. So that the movement of custom, being able to be, our slogan is tattoo on a shoe, ... be unique, to really hit home with the consumer or with the corporation, where they can come up with their own design and have their employees, or have that one of one with the consumer, and be able to express and to brand themselves, and they can design whatever they want onto a shoe.
Wow, thank you. So do you feel these celebrity endorsements is just a fad, or it's sometimes just a marketing gimmick, or do you see like real value, because today's,
it's 100% value. So like think of it this way. If somebody gives you a t-shirt, or gives you a free hat, or gives you a free basketball, or whatever swag or goods that you have, you might wear it once, you might dribble the ball once and then throw it away. With a pair of footwear and a pair of shoes, that's something, if you get for free or if you pay for it, I mean, even more so, you're going to wear it and you're going to be happy. It might have your company name on there. So you're branding your company, you're marketing your company. Or you could just have some really cool design on a pair of Jordans or Adidas or Yeezys or whatever it might be, and nobody else has it in the world. So people will stop you in the streets. Where'd you get that from? And it's a great talking point. And that's the movement of what's going on in the footwear business today in the US.
So what about sizing? Like when I mean sizing, like what are the main sizes, like, and how do you do what is your like sizing strategy? Because obviously certain sizes sell more, certain are in dead stock. You know, I mean, how do you just give us an idea of how you plan your sizing when it comes to shoes?
So it's a really unbelievable model that we have here is that we don't have any inventory. I have partnered with over 10 different retail stores that I get shoes for wholesale pretty much. And then I buy based on corporations, I buy in bulk. So they love me because I move product for them. So to your question about sizing, usually typically what we see in the US is that the most popular sizes are anywhere from 9, 9.5, 10, 10, 11, 12. And then after 12, size 12, not Euro, just USD 12, it doesn't go up to half sizes. So like I'd say the cutoff is anywhere from 9 to 13 in men's. And then in women's, it's 6 to about size 9.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. So to answer your question, so hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and I know a lot about shoes and customization and being unique and branding yourself, branding your company is taking over the game.
So Remy, would you like to add something about the sizing in your, how do you plan your sizing? Remy?
About 10 years, at least 10 years. The sizing is correct. It goes from women's. We start around 5.5 and we go up to 9.5. The best sizes would be from like 6.5 to 8, 8.5. And for men, we start at like size 7 and we go all the way down to 13. But the best sizes would be from 9 to 12.
And like, so now that you're looking to make your own brand, is it like, what kind of, have you like thought, like, do you think like, do you want to make it like very like high end? Do you want to, what pricing are you looking at? Is it? Did you get me? I think he just, I don't think he's on the video anymore. So anyway, we're going to get back to Swed. Swed, how are you doing again?
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect. So tell us more about how do you plan your shoe sizing and give us a little more feedback on more about your business.
Sure. So we have a more direct approach with our customers wherein like we actually ask them to share an outline of their foot and scan it and send it to us, which kind of gives us a length and a breadth to work with. Because a lot of times what happens is like, even if you have like, let's say your standard size, UK sizes or Euro sizes or US sizes, guys tend to order a bigger pair because of some issue. And then later, because we customize the pair for them, we make it after the order is placed, it's very hard to do returns, you know, or to like get it.
Why do people order a bigger size?
I mean, usually I think because the feet, like our men's feet especially, are some are broad, some are like, you know, stout, some are just narrow and long. Like there's no no 2 feet match each other, right? So that's the reason like a lot of people go for bigger sizes, because then it's like broader. But that can be adjusted like on the last, because like we start with from the basics where we actually take those measurements and make a last around it first, and then we make the shoe or construct the shoe around it. So that in turn like makes us like, you know, once the shoe is perfect for the customer, like the customer keeps coming back to us, because that is when you know 100% I'll get the right size.
So right now, this business that you're doing, is it only in India itself, or are you doing it for customers all around the world?
All around the world, majority into the urban pockets of India. And from Germany, we get a few orders. From the UK, we get a few orders. And in the US, because my sister is also based in Florida, at Boca Raton, so she is looking after that. So yeah, we do get orders from these three places like Europe and USA as of now.
So give us a little idea on the pricing. What's the price of your product? Give us
My product, actually, because everything that I do happens in-house, and we are literally next door to one of the biggest tanneries that supplies to most of the European brands. Like I'm sure Sir Gustavo sir will agree, like a lot of good leather does come from South India, from Tamil Nadu especially. So we are literally next door. So our pricing is quite comparative. So let's say a retail shoe delivered in the US will cost you around 11,000 bucks Indian rupees, which is 110 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's quite reasonable for a
yeah, because we do everything in house, like right from the soles, right from the uppers, the clicking, the stitching. All our uppers are kind of stitched to the sole. It's called a stitch down construction or a Blake construction. We do that, and we have our own karigars, as we call them, or craftsmen. So everything happens in house, and that's why we can afford to keep a competitive pricing.
Okay, great. So I'm just understanding Soul Revival. Do you work with leather shoes, or is it just sneakers and those kind of sportswear brands? Soul, this question was for you. Soul Revival. Do you work with just sneakers, or do you work with leather brands as well? Okay, don't know if you got that or not. Okay, so back to Mr. Gustavo. Sir, how are you doing?
Fine.
So any thoughts or any kind of like because obviously you're doing research all the time, and you're in with the governments and stuff. What do you foresee with the footwear industry? What are the trends that you see? Which are like the biggest markets? Is it true that America is the biggest market? Is that where everyone wants to be at? What do you see? Like, where do you see like, is like Russia a big market? Where do you see like, just generally any inputs or statistics you can give us about footwear?
Well, about footwear, not so much. I think because my job in my scope is leather, and so I don't know which I'm not a specialist in footwear, but of course the important markets are the markets where you have a high income of the consumers, no, where you can then sell better your products. That's for a footwear manufacturer the important thing. But there is one thing that I'd like to share with you, which is something that may be a risky thing, and that has to do with European legislation, with European regulations. And particularly, well, we are in touch with a number of countries that are having that feel that there is a risk. You know that about 80 to 90% of all leathers worldwide are tanned with chrome, with trivalent chromium salts. And so chrome tanned leather is virtually the material that is making the footwear, all the leather footwear and all the goods that are traded around. Yet there is, normally you don't have a change of these trivalent chromium salts that can become hexavalent chromium. So chrome 3 is the tanning agent, but chrome 6 is another substance that is not used in tanning, but that can be generated in tanning if the chromium 3 is not suitably fixed with the matrix. It's an oxidation that can happen if the tanning has not been made correctly, or if it is made with not a very good tanning agents, etc. So it can happen. It should not happen, but it can happen. The problem is that you can measure the amount of hexavalent chromium in leather. There is a standard, an international standard for that, and that should be applied. The international standard says that you have you can measure hexavalent chromium in leather, but not below 3 ppm, 3 parts per million, 3 milligram per kilogram of material. And that has a good reason, because the leather is an ocean of trivalent chromium in which you have to pick 3 ppm, 3 parts per million. So it's very difficult to do so. And the detection limit is, the quantification limit, sorry, of the standard is 3 ppm. You cannot go further down. It's not a matter of the apparatus that could measure chromium-6 at a lower level, but it's a problem of the extraction of the sample from the leather in order to be measured. So that is the problem. However, the European Union intends now to issue legislation on skin sensitizers that wants to put many substances are going to be concerned, but one of the substances is hexavalent chromium. And for leather, they want to reduce this 3 ppm that is currently the legislative measure down to 1 ppm. That makes that the test method is no longer applicable. And if this test method is no longer applicable because you cannot go that far, it is tantamount to a ban of chromium tanned leather. And I think that there are a number of countries around the world that are going to be very, very upset with that, because it is a technical barrier to trade, that anyone who is selling chrome tanned leather or chrome tanned leather products to the European Union should denounce and should attack.
So, are your leathers and your shoes chrome tanned?
Yes, of course.
No, I'm talking about. I'm just asking.
of all leathers around, 80 to 90% of all leathers in the world are chrome tanned, because that's the way you tan. So there are also some other tanning methods, of course, vegetable tanning methods, but that don't provide the same performances and the same qualities than you have with chromium tanned leather. So the reduction from 3 ppm to 1 ppm is going to be, I would say, tantamount to a ban on chromium tanned leather and leather products. So I see that for many countries, in particular India, and I see that there are Indian manufacturers there, I think that should be immediately told to your authorities that this is a measure that makes no scientific sense and is a technical barrier to trade. And they should tell it to the European Union, because India has probably much more strength and power to communicate that to the European Union than any other country, because of its importance in the leather and leather products trade.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I'm just going to get to Gasper. You just joined us a little late. Would you like to introduce yourself, Gasper? You have to unmute. Hi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I am a shoe manufacturer from Spain.
Okay, wonderful. And tell us more about your products.
We produce a comfort shoe for all women.
And you have your own factory?
And sorry?
You have your own factory?
Yes, I am the third generation. We are producing since 1960.
Oh, wonderful. So can you tell us more about your product? Can you show us maybe your product, or tell us more about it? What pricing? Where do you sell it?
Yes, our brand is similar than, for example, Mephisto. Do you know Mephisto as a referent in our segment, in our sector? And we make all kind of removable footbed.
Okay, wonderful.
and wide fitting. Always very soft, very flexible, very light.
Shoes look great. Looks wonderful, the shoes. You know?
We have a lot of styles, very big collection, and in our website, piesanto.com, you can see.
So are you just focused on men's, or you do women's as well?
Only women's.
Okay, only women's. And what is the best selling styles? Like what is the best? Can you give us an
The
indication?
best selling styles today are sneakers. The heel today is die. People today want also the old woman. Sneakers and light and cheaper. This is the and quality.
Okay, so just give us some indication of the pricing. Like, what's the approximate? Like, give us like what is the wholesale price of something like that you just showed us?
Our wholesale price is between 40 and 50.
And that's
between 40 and 50. And the retail price used to be 100, 120, something like this.
okay. And
Could
this
be some few cheaper or few higher, but this is the medium.
okay, wonderful. Gustavo, do you have any questions for Gaspar? Any questions or any thoughts?
No, I just want to congratulate him for the third generation establishment and for the
Thank
product
you.
that they made. It's they look very great. I wish I would have known your products before my mother passed away, because they are really, they look great.
Sorry.
And that's they would have she would have loved them.
Thank you.
So, Merrick, any thoughts from your side? Marek, you'll have to unmute.
Sorry, unmute.
Yeah, you have to unmute. Yeah.
It's not from me. This noise.
Yeah.
So I'm just listening. I heard recently that listening is as much important as talking. So I was listening very carefully. So what I can say, or maybe what I want to ask about, I would like to ask about changes in the footwear market, especially in the retail market. And I can tell you something about the situation in Poland, especially during last year, when we have a deep lockdown everywhere, also here. So e-commerce is rising rapidly. So this is, I think that it's the same everywhere. And here we have it, a very special situation, because we have a very strong company. So this is CCC company. They have 800. That's the biggest chain market. They have 800 shops in shopping malls, and at the same time they have 80% shares in one of the biggest e-commerce online trade, and they sell a lot online. They also sell not only in Poland, also in other European countries. So for me, I think they are very similar to Zalando right now, and they are still developing. At the same time, we have what we also see on the market. We have, for example, on the Polish market, or we have a very strong delivery company. It's called Impost. Recently, they entered Amsterdam stock market, and the value of this company was like, I don't know, maybe 5 billion zlotys. And they developed this company in the last 5 years. So it goes very fast. So when you look at our streets, we have less regular shops. For example, in Krakow, we have maybe right now, maybe we have maybe 100 traditional shops on our streets. We have several hundreds, maybe 200-300 shops in shopping malls, like big stores. At the same time, we have maybe 500 lockers for parcels situated in our streets. So they are for online trade. So where you can order and you get stuff on the next day, and you can get it from the locker. So it's changing very, very fast. So sorry, I see very slow. We saw people from the States, so I also wanted to ask them, because I also recognize, I also think that it's, the market is firstly very big, but also there's a very strong impact of e-commerce in the States, since they have Amazon or also other online businesses. So it's changing, and it's very hard to say. It's very hard to describe what will happen in next 2 years. We still have our own production here, so I do represent these, manufacturers, and we still have about 200 manufacturers. But there is a strong threat that most of them will just disappear from the economic map because of all of these changes. So this is what I want to just add to the discussion. Thank you.
Gustavo, very interesting that you spoke about e-commerce. Do you feel that brick and mortar is going to eventually become dead, and everything is going to move to a new, or a pick up location kind of e-commerce where people can even pick up? What is your thoughts?
Well, it is clear there are studies that show that e-commerce is taking more and more weight in the economy, and that more and more shoes and more leather goods and more clothing is sold via e-commerce. So that is something that no manufacturer should disregard. It's really important, and the counsel, the best recommendation that anyone can make is that the manufacturers of articles, consumer articles in leather or any consumer article, get used to trade on the web, get used to have a very good e-commerce site in order to trade. And this is not trivial. It is really a very important thing, and a very technical thing. So not everyone can make, yes, I can make a website. No, it's not so easy. It is something that is very, very technical, and it requires also the technical advice of experts that know how these things function. So I'm not an expert, but I know that this is really a very important thing, because I know quite a lot of businessmen who have been looking at the issue of, well, how do I transfer my sales also over the internet? And they told me, they have explained to me that it is a very complex exercise that requires the support of technical people, and also the training of people in the company to be able to follow this up. So it's not saying, well, I set up a website, even with technical assistance, etc., that works and that is fantastic. No. If you don't have the people in-house that are able to manage the trade, even if at the beginning it's going to be low, of course, there's necessarily going to be a learning curve, and then this is going to take off. But it is important to have these people from the beginning to build up the trade via the internet. So it's very important.
So just moving to Gasper again, can you just tell us more about your e-commerce business, and how much percentage of your business is coming from online compared to wholesale or orders?
Our target, the final customer, is an old woman, so it is slowly than other ages, but we look a little better selling in this channel, and it is not easy, because you need to have specialized people to manage your own online store, and also all the marketplaces. So it is not cheaper, it is not easy. You need time and work, but I think it's the future. And now in this moment, we appreciate a little increase in this business. So we think we need to continue in this line. The problem is a conflict. There is a conflict between the retailers when the brand sells directly by online, because the final price, the retail price, used to have a problems. Retailers also want to sell online, but they don't have enough margin to do it, because shipping cost, because returns, and it is not easy to find the balance between to keep our industry of manufacturers. We have a lot of employees and a big cost. The online is still very, very small of our capacity, of our business, and the retail, the distributors are very big, but these differences are changing very quickly, and we need to invest for the future online, but always with a very delicate balance, because we need to keep happy the retailers, and this is not easy. It's very, very difficult. It's like make equilibrio, equilibrista. I don't know how to say in English. It's difficult.
There's a fine balance. You're absolutely right, but it's particularly difficult for shoes like you make, Gaspar, because it's destined to an audience that is made out of elderly people, and elderly people are not very used to use this instrument. So for your market segment, it is.
I am now thinking to develop a new project with a sustainable brand, and I was looking for alternative of the leather, no? And I only find tissues and some synthetics that they call vegan leather or something like this. And I would like to find, but I don't find. I would like to find real sustainable leathers alternatives. It's like,
what can you define? Sorry.
I need arguments. To explain to final customer, that the real leather could be sustainable. And I have the feeling that this traditional sector of the leather should work in this way to communicate to the world that the leather can be also sustainable. It's like a traditional industry that was in the comfort zone, because they are in the top and manage and in the last 5 years, these new people become very quickly doing a lot of marketing, and it's like the top leather industry was sleeping. And I think that it is very important from this sector to communicate, to invest, and to show to the world that the leather can be the best alternative for the user, for the world, for the if not the best, one good alternative. It seems like everybody is killing the leather, and this is not real. This is the result of a marketing strategy of one sector that is coming and is giving this idea, but in my opinion, is not real.
Gustavo, I know you have a lot to say on this subject.
Yes, and I fully agree with Gaspar. He's right in what he's saying. He's absolutely right. The leather industry has been not sleeping, but has been resting on their laurels, and not seeing the need to communicate to the final consumer the benefits and the performances of leather. That is absolutely true. and that is something that we are changing. I have put in the chat the name of our website where you can find good arguments, good reasons for that. But there is also another one, which is I think it's leathernaturally.com, I think.
Onika, welcome. Onika, how are you?
These two sites are going to be there. You will find good arguments for the sustainability of leather, and that leather is, because leather is more sustainable than all the alternatives. That is it's a fact. It's true that we have not been communicating this over the past, and that is really a problem. And we are trying to fix that, not only at the European level, but at all levels, in all countries, and at international level. That's why this site, Leather Naturally, is going to be very useful for many of you who want to find the arguments that are going to be used that can be used for communicating leather much better. It's true. But
I would prefer to buy natural leather from made near from me, not from the other part of the world, with respect to the natural, than buy synthetic from China who says that is from some fruit or some tree, you know. And the problem is that I don't want to say to the final customer how to buy. They are intelligent. They see every day in internet, and they know what they want. And we need to tell them that the leather is more sustainable, and this is the problem. They don't understand this, and Piesanto or any other brand need to make a very big effort to explain this, and the people don't hear to the brand. Hear every day to Instagram, to Facebook, to Google, to Amazon, and the industry leather should make something to communicate this with arguments, with something which is easy to understand and is real. The
arguments are absolutely there. In this leathernaturally.com, you will find all the arguments, and also in my own site, euroleather.com, you will find all the arguments. The problem is that the consumer, that the people, particularly the younger generations, are bombarded with fake arguments, with saying that any alternative is this mantra of cruelty-free leathers, these plant-based leathers, which is usurpating the term leather for communicating something that is wrong, that is misleading, that is deceptive. And hopefully in this in these 4 years, the European Commission is going to issue that is going to address false environmental claims, which is
very important, very important
in the economy, and that is going to reduce or decimate these false environmental claims substantially. But it takes time to develop this legislation, unfortunately. But it's important that the problem is that these people that communicate that are very, very powerful in terms of money. They have a lot of money, and they have also a lot of good faces that communicate. Look at Stella McCartney. Stella McCartney is the #1 promoter of alternatives to leather. So, do we have a Stella McCartney? No, we don't have. Who is going? And they say, "I'm any person who puts the face there is maybe I'm going to be getting out of fashion because I'm supporting leather." So That is a big problem. We need people that stand to leather because they stand to leather and say it openly. And they are around, but they need to grow. They need to grow much more.
Absolutely. I just want to get an opinion from Onika. So Onika is based in America. And what do you have to today's discussions about footwear? Can you just tell us some trends that you're seeing? And what is your take about people getting into like organic leather, organic shoes? What is your thought? Because you're in the biggest market, and we'd love to know your feedback.
Yeah, basically, in America, it's a lot of leathers. They have a lot of different colors they're using. They're using like clear PVC tennis shoes, like a lot of glitter, and it's a lot of different unique markets in the United States.
What about organic? Are you seeing things with more people going? People wanting more organic products or natural, or is that a trend that you're seeing?
Yes, they have a lot of organic, like material, a lot of organic leather. Everybody's going natural in the United States, so that's pretty popular here.
But you're right, Gustavo. You're totally right about people misrepresenting the word, and that's a huge argument, not only with leather, but even when they say organic, when it comes and sustainable clothing. So a lot of brands are totally misusing because they don't really understand. I've seen factories myself firsthand, and they who say products are organic, but then when you question them, they're like, oh, but my side is organic, but where I purchased my raw material from, I don't know if they were organic. So because, so they're trying to do their part, and not, and they can't like pretty much look through the fully vertically integrated thing, so that's a whole discussion on its own. But I just want to thank everyone who came here today. Today's discussion was smaller, more intimate. Usually our webinars are a little bigger, and it's like I mentioned, it's about networking, and that's what we do at Fashionably. And we've been doing trade shows, and we want to get people together for our B2B events. We have different sectors. We have fabrics, we have footwear, we have resort wear, we have denim, we have jewelry, we have knitwear. So we have different segments that we have about 24 different segments that and every week we focus on showcase a different segment. So I think next week we've got beauty coming up, which is interesting, which is another big sector. So I just want to thank everyone else for being here, and got good insights to the footwear industry. Now, just before we close, because it's time up, I just want a few words of wisdom. Anything that you would like to end by saying, Swed, Marek, Constance, Gasper, Onika, just some last words before we close. And thank you all, and please be safe. So, Swed, please go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, first of all, for having me here. It's a great experience and a lot of exposure from so many different countries and so many different perspectives. I'll just like to say that, like, if anybody is looking for a manufacturer, looking for a quality leather manufacturer here from India, who's like a 100% leather, and we also, anyone who makes leather sneakers, leather shoes, any of that, please do get in touch with me. Please check out the brand called SVED, Suede. We are a minimal high quality leather footwear brand. And yeah, thank you so much. It was amazing to meet all of you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Marek, anything, please, sir?
Thank you very much for all vital information that I received here. And I only want to say that I do share the same opinion as Gustavo and as Gaspar on leather, also as my colleague from Sweat Store. So also my opinion on organic leather is also the same. I also share this opinion. Leather is absolutely the best and unique material for shoes. First, because of its features, it's very comfortable stuff for shoes. And sometimes we forget that it's fully recyclable. So we also have to underline in all discussion or public discussion especially here in the EU, when everything is changing, we are more careful about the environment. We have to underline that it's fully recyclable and causes not that many problems as synthetic stuff. So thank you for this discussion and for this meeting. And it's very good to recognize, to know that you have friends who share the same opinion, and we are on the same part of the pitch. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And so we hope we could, we look forward at Fashionablyin, we look forward to doing collaborations. Today with Zoom being so convenient, we could talk, maybe not today, but I can send you an email of maybe some other ideas that we have. We could get some more producers from your country, and same with you, Mr. Gustavo, some producers together, have a talk. We could even organize some buyers from America and other parts of the world, just to get more, just because that's what we do at Fashionablyin, we make connections. And right now with everything going, our events, our physical events not happening, we're experimenting with all kinds of virtual methods, and some of them have been interesting. I hope today y'all have made new friends, and I hope y'all can be in touch and remember that you're connected at Fashionablyin, one day, so that will make us happy. So Sir Gustavo, Mr. So would you like to say something?
Yes, well, I words of wisdom. I would say like that. You can fool. There's a say. So you can fool few people all the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And Gaspar said something that is very important. The consumer is not stupid. They know what they're buying. But what is important is that we provide the consumer the right and rightful and honest information on that, so that the consumer can make up its mind on its own. So it's very important. That is my last word.
Yes. Okay, I will take a look to Euro Leather and Leather Naturally. I will take a look in the website.
And Gaspar, anything else you would like to tell us before we close?
No, thank you for your information and for this meeting. And for me, I take one thing to see the website and try to get arguments to first to be sure about here in my mind, and then come to say to others. We need arguments, and I hope the European laws can make something to help and to defend the final customer, to say good, real arguments, not fake.
And Onika, anything you'd like to end with?
Yes, I would like to reach out to each one of y'all about possibly collaborating with each of y'all.
Definitely.
I came out.
Put your contact details on the chat box, so everyone else can get it. Put your email address. And one last thing, we at Fashionablyin, we sell our membership. That's how we're surviving throughout COVID, our virtual programs. So if anyone's interested in getting more leads, getting into more markets, Swed, like you want to grow your business, we're specialists in doing it. We connect you all with agents, with buyers all around the world. Same with Gaspar, if you're looking at growing your brand in other markets in different parts of the world, wherever in the world is, you can see here, we've got people from all diverse backgrounds and places. And that's what we do. We've got a very good network of connecting people from all around the world, So that's what we do at Fashionablyin. And Onika, anything else just to close?
Yes, I wanted to state that I would like to work with each one of y'all on a collaboration, because I have a good hand for like fashion and like textile, leather. And I could also, I'm an agent with Fashionablyin, and I can help y'all get buyers in America.
So great, thank you, Onika. Onika works with us as well. She's been a great support and is at all of our webinars. So thank you again for everything. So just again, be safe, and thank you all again for your support and being here for this webinar.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Marek.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
See you again. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.